With Doubtnut, get instant video solutions to all your maths, physics, chemistry, and biology doubts. Just click the image of the question, crop the question, and get instant video solution. Download Doubtnut app today.
Hello everyone, let us try to solve the given problem. So the given problem is simply a reason and assertion type problem. We have been given two statements here. The statement one simply says that the explosion of on other planets are not heard on Earth, right? So we have to examine this statement one, and statement two says to hear distinct beats, the difference in frequency of two sources should be less than 10. Let us try to analyze these one by one. So now why don't we hear the explosion, right, which take place on different planets or somewhere around the universe on Earth? Let us say that this is our Earth, right, and we know that just beyond our atmosphere, right, we do not have any medium for sound to propagate, right? So we know that there is a layer of gases around the Earth which is called atmosphere, right? Those sound can only travel from that to the surface of Earth, right? Beyond that sound cannot travel. So the main reason for which these explosions are not heard on Earth is, first, sound is simply a mechanical wave. So sound is a mechanical wave, that is, it requires a mechanical wave, it requires a material medium for its propagation, and far beyond the Earth, right? Let us say that at other planets or in the universe, right, we are calling that as infinity. So there is no medium for sound to propagate. So there is no medium. So what happens is that sound cannot travel from there to the atmosphere to reach the surface of Earth. That is the reason why sound or the explosions which take place somewhere in the universe or on other planets simply are not heard on the Earth, because there is no medium to carry that sound wave to the Earth, right? So the statement number one is simply correct. Now, to hear distinct beats, difference in frequencies of two sources should be less than 10. Now, what are beats? Now, let us first try to understand the phenomena of beats. So to examine this statement, we will use two main concepts. So what are beats, right? When two sound sources of nearly same frequencies are sounded together, then what happens is that the intensity of sound simply goes up and down several times in a minute, right? That they are called beat, right? So that is called beat. So what are beats? Simply the intensity of sound in a medium. Intensity of sound simply varies from maximum to minimum. Intensity of sound vary from maximum to minimum several times in 1 minute. Now that is called beat frequency. Several times in 1 minute, in 1 second, sorry. So these are called one beat. One rise and one fall of the intensity of sound makes one beat. So how do you find out the beat frequency? That is how many beats are produced per second. That is simply the difference of two frequencies. So it says that to hear distinct beat, the difference in frequencies of the sources should be less than 10. Now if the difference is 10, then how many beats will be produced in 1 second? 10 beats will be produced per second if the difference in frequency is simply 10. Now here we are going to use the main concept. Now we know that any sound persists in our ears. Any sound that we hear simply persists in our ear or remains in our ear for 0.1 second. So if we hear two sounds only after an interval of 0.1 second or greater than this time, only then we will be able to identify two distinct sounds. Now let us suppose that two sounds are heard for a period less than 0.1 second. Let us say that if we hear two sounds, right, for a period of 0.01 second, right, then we will not be able to distinguish between these two sounds. Why? Because for 0.1 second a single sound remains in our ear or persists in our ears. So you can see that if we find out if the difference in frequencies is simply 10, so 10 beats per second will be simply produced, and we find out the time period, that will be simply nothing but 1 upon f1 minus f2. So this will be simply equals to 1 upon 10. So this is 0.1 second. So this is the time period of one beat, right? So what will happen is that in 0.1 second sound will go up and down. So if the time period is greater than this, or if the time period is simply greater than this, then what can happen is that we can hear beats. So for this time to be greater, what should happen is that this difference of the frequencies should be 10 or less than 10, right? This difference should be smaller, only then this time can be greater and we can hear two sounds distinctly. So this statement is also correct, but this does not relate with our first statement. So in that case, statement 1 is true, statement 2 is true, but statement 2 is not the correct explanation of statement 2. So I hope you understood the entire explanation. Thank you.
For class 6 to 12, IIT JEE and NEET level. Trusted by more than 5 crore students. Download Doubtnut App today.